thought you weren't.
Yeah, I'm recording it now. And
Cool.
you may
Oh, I
have.
must be on Hannah's account or something. Mine says Hannah Costa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Recording.
That's all right.
Yeah, it'll be nice to have these recordings someday.
I
Yes,
think,
I've got them.
Right.
didn't you put one on YouTube, Dad, the last time? Not last year, but the year before?
Yeah, the year before I did. Yeah, so
So,
we're hopefully we can do these once a year.
saying that.
During the holiday season. And next year Malcolm is gonna be the host. So
We'll see. I have no idea what planet I'm living on a year from now, so we'll see.
Malcolm, I
Hopefully you're-
volunteered as backup, so.
Okay. But yeah, it's only fair, and I'm reasonably proficient at Zoom. I attend a lot, but I don't host often, so we'll figure it out.
hi Kelly, how
Hi,
you
Kelly.
doing?
Hello.
Hello, we're here.
Hi.
Hey, Jack, how you doing?
Now who's this?
Libby. How's Libby doing?
I'm just fine.
Glad to hear.
She's here.
Good, that's great. Hi Libby.
Hello. Who is that? Whomever. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Well,
Hi, Libby.
now who is this? Who is this good-looking woman here?
That's Kristie.
Oh, me? Oh, there's other women. There's Carol.
Whenever you talk,
And who's this?
you're on the big screen, at least on my computer.
Yep. Whoever talks goes on the screen.
That's right.
That's right.
Okay.
And so we can get started, and we got as much time as we want to use. We'll keep it under 2 hours for sure. But we can talk as long as we want. Kelly, you want to start us off? Anything going on in your life? Interesting?
Well, I'm retired, and
Yay.
boy, am I enjoying it. It is
Libby's,
nice.
yeah.
I'll tell a story about my brother Joe and his brothers.
Okay.
When we were like in high school, a friend of mine, Frank Carl, and I were playing basketball and track. And Joe was still a little young, but we wanted to get him involved in sports. And damn if he didn't start going out for long distance running. And we thought that was kind of dorky. And we were giving him a hard time about it. But it turned out it was pretty smart because it's a good way to keep in shape and keep young. And you're playing basketball or football, you give up football. Even the professionals give it up after less than 10 years. And basketball, they could pay for longer than that. But anyway, we were giving Joe a hard time and razzing him, but he was smart, picked a good sport, keeps him young, keeps him healthy. Hello, Joe. Come in.
Hello, Kelly.
Come in. We can't see you.
No, he doesn't.
Sorry about that.
Video, only audio.
Talk to Nick.
How's Nancy, Kelly and Mikey?
I'm sorry, what was that, Keith?
Kelly and Mikey are doing just fine. Mike has a young son named Jackson. He's 2 years old.
Wow.
And they're expecting another one in the spring. So it's going to be another boy. So they'll have two sons come spring of 2024.
Congratulations.
But they live in town. They both work, and they like to go up to the mountains every chance they get. They have a cabin in the mountains.
Nice.
That's a Colorado lifestyle.
Well, congratulations. That's awesome. Grandpa.
Colorado's a beautiful place. I enjoyed the time I spent there.
Okay, I got a
Oh, there's
picture.
Nancy.
There's
Hey, Nancy.
Uh-oh.
There they
There we
are.
go.
There's Kristie.
Come back.
Goes to Vin Diesel. Vin Scully.
We see Kristie. Hi, Kristie.
And
Hi, how are you, Uncle John?
Keith has a beard and a hat.
You look exactly the same. You haven't changed.
Well, thank you. That was a compliment, wasn't it?
That was a compliment. Very handsome.
And Keith.
Well, I
how
can't
you
see you
doing?
now. Somebody's got their
doing?
finger over the camera.
I've got my
Yeah.
finger over the camera.
There you go.
How are you all doing there in Colorado Springs?
Everything's fine here, except it's going to start snowing in about an hour and a half.
Yeah, next 6 months you guys will get snow. I remember being there in June and it's snowing.
Yep.
Sometimes.
We'll
The
have
place reminds
snow
me
on
of the-
Cape. Go ahead.
I said, your place reminds me of the Overlook Hotel from The Shining. This big, beautiful place, but you're kind of in there for the winter. Once it starts snowing, you're kind of committed.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yep. Hi.
Yes,
We can see
Can
you,
now.
Scott.
there's Scott.
Well, that's
Hi,
good.
Scott.
Hello, hi, Joe. Go
Dad, we
Broncos.
lost your camera, Kelly. Your iPad tipped over or something. There you go.
You have to look and see what they are seeing in the little corner down there. Look at yourself in the corner. They can see you.
Yeah.
We can see a knuckle.
Your fingers on the back
You
are
can't,
over the
There
camera.
we
well,
go.
Libby's
Well,
iPad, and I can't tell where the
It's right in the center top of the screen, probably, Kelly. Center top.
See yourself there? They can see you now, but you're putting your finger
We can see you.
over there.
We can see it.
Okay. Look, you can turn it until they can see you in the middle.
Turn it so.
Okay, just
so there. That's good.
you just have this thing. Why not? Go up. Keep yourself in the middle of the screen there. Look at that. Good boy. Well done.
How can you mute yourself if there's noise that starts popping up in the back? Malcolm, you know how to work this interface.
Down in the lower left-hand corner.
Yeah.
There's a mute button, the microphone there symbol. You see that? If you click that,
See, and Alt
muted.
Shift.
And if you click it again, then
We don't have it.
phone is back.
Would you like
Mine's in the
to-
top right corner, but same thing. There's a mute option there. You can mute and stop video. There's two little buttons.
Tell me if this works.
Two
Is
little-
that it? I muted you. Muted myself.
Oh, I see it.
Was I off?
No, it doesn't sound like it. Try talking and try doing it again, Keith.
I don't think it's gonna, I don't want to waste more time with. I'm sorry.
Well, you just leave it on. As long as there's no noise in the background, you don't need to worry about it.
Everyone here is pretty darn considerate, so.
Let's try and only talk one at a time. And Kelly, you were going, so why don't you go ahead and finish up if you have anything you want to say.
Well, that's it for now. I was just wondering, is Don Mercer on the line?
No, he is not. He never responded. I have a feeling he's not doing very well. Joe, do you know anything about Don?
I have no news.
Yeah, I have no news either. I talked to him about 2 months ago, and he helped Keith out. He gave Keith some money, and since then he's gone quiet. I think he's probably not doing very well. I had called Rochelle, never heard from her either. I thought maybe she might have some news. But anyway, Joe, why don't you go ahead and say anything you want to say?
Howdy to everybody. Nancy and I are enjoying retirement. Nancy taught for 44 years and deserves to retirement. And I'm also retired, and I'm doing some writing about family history. And we have 2 dogs, Bear and Bernie. We call him Bad Boy Bernie because he actually gets us in a lot of trouble with the neighbors, but they're forgiving. But he's acquired a habit of eating money.
Oh,
$20 bills.
Oh, goodness.
well, quit feeding it.
Only $20 bills. It's kind of like that dog that was on the news today. The dog ate
4,000.
$4,000 worth of good money, but the owners were patient, and eventually
Oh,
out
God,
came
no.
3,500.
What was it, in Krugerrands? How did that pass?
He kept 500 for dog food. But that's it from Nancy and Joe. Nancy, did you have anything? Here's Nancy.
Let's see. Our latest is Joe couldn't watch the game, the Sugar Bowl, so we forked up some money for ESPN, which gave us about 40 new channels, movie channels. So I've been watching movies lately. So, but Mike's busy today, Kelly's busy today, but they would love to talk to you, I'm sure they could. Joe, Mike's mother-in-law just fell off the ladder, so she's in the hospital. So everything's kind of up in the air over there. So here's Joe.
Tell us a little bit about Kelly. We heard a little bit about Mikey, but what about Kelly?
Kelly is teaching in school district just north of us, and she's teaching first grade. And of all things, she wants to retire. And the girl's only 40 something.
She's got 20 years in, though.
But she's got 20 years in, and
she teaches 5 more, she can retire.
if she teaches 5 more years. Anyway, her daughter, Summer, is 6 or 7 now, and a delightful little gal and developing a magnetic personality. And that's about all the news from the Colorado Morgans. And take it over.
Okay, I'll take it over. This is Bill and Carol is here with me. She's on a separate computer. And she can go next if she wants to say something. I will say something first that Carol and I are very happy living together, and we live in downtown Delray Beach here in South Florida. And we're right on the main drag, Main Avenue. We're within walking distance of the library, about 40 different restaurants, uh, uh, retail stores, pharmacies, everything we need. Yeah, we are living happily retired in Delray Beach. Carol, you want to add anything to that?
Only that we've got some travel planned for next year,
Yeah, we're going on a cruise.
going on a cruise, 14 days from Barcelona to Barcelona next April. And we're getting Bill in shape to do that so we can do the walking that we have to do. Because he's got some issues with his back, but other than that, we're in pretty good shape. And I guess that's about it from beautiful downtown Delray.
Round trip.
Okay, so Malcolm, your go.
Gosh, am I the next oldest? Wow. I suppose I am.
You're the oldest grandchild. So-
Yeah. I just wanted to add, last time I went to see Uncle Bill, and by the way, Bill and Joe, you guys have not aged a day. My childhood memories of you guys is exactly as you are sitting there right now today. That's so funny. But went to visit Uncle Bill, and you got to watch those parking meters down there because they don't just write you a ticket. The look on his face. We went to dinner and came out at like 10 o'clock at night, and they had not put one but two of those boot things over the wheel.
Oh,
And you have to call and pay this pretty big fine. And they might come out and remove them, but the phone numbers posted weren't working, and we tried calling the police, and the police weren't any help. And boy, it was pretty vicious. I mean, we have a pretty strict parking enforcement department here in Sausalito. I pay between 50 and 150 a month typically in parking tickets, which is not much less than a whole parking permit cost, but they don't like to give parking permits to people who live on a boat. So, but anyway, watch out if you go to South Florida. They get you if you park somewhere. But it was a fun visit, and it was interesting to see Florida. I do a little business in Florida, not a lot, but definitely will look you guys up whenever I'm out there.
Absolutely.
Let us know whenever you're heading this way again.
Yeah. Well, I'm the opposite of retired. Although I did just quit. I'm technically unemployed as of today. I quit my yacht broker job looking for another position like that. I still have my company, and we have been super busy right up until Christmas Eve. We were just really busy. I have a lovely young assistant that works with me. And, I'm handing all of my life's work. I've been doing this work 50 years now. And ever since that fateful day, we went sailing one time at my insistence. And then I think within a month, we owned a boat store. And I've been into it ever since. But yeah, I've got probably got another 10 years of work ahead. Luckily, I'm in super good health. I've been quite fortunate. I have a super loving, wonderful girlfriend. She's just great. And we're really enjoying the life in the Bay Area. We both live near each other, but San Francisco is only 10 miles away. So we hop in the car, and in 15 minutes, we're in downtown San Francisco, and there's lots of amazing culture and social scene there. We're all both really quite social. I think I have a friend group that's about 100 really active friends in our group, mostly around Burning Man. And she has about 200 in her group. So we're sort of blending our two friend groups together, so it keeps us busy all the time. Every weekend is something. But what else? We're hoping to get to Europe in the summer. My friend Eric, who's listening out back, Eric is out there. It's the back of the boat, you can see out there. His partner did a week-long bicycle trip in Portugal that just sounds fantastic. So we think we're going to try to do that, and then go to touch something. Hold on. Do Portugal, and then Amy's from Ireland. Want to go see Ireland and her relatives, and go see some folks in Wales. My mom's side of the family, the Welsh Romano side. Amy's family has a farm that they've been in the family for 400 years. If you go to the grocery store and you see this Kerrygold brand of butter
Oh,
and
yes.
stuff like that,
We love it.
Kerry County or Kerry Parish, or however they're divided up back there, is where her family is from. And they still have an interest in the family farm there. And the kids are not much interested in it, so it probably won't be in the family for much longer, but we would like to go see it. I haven't been to Europe in 20 years. No, I was in Europe last year just briefly for a couple of weeks. But prior to that, it'd been 20 years, and I would really love to see it again when I do more traveling. Amy's been to 81 countries.
Oh, good
and
for her.
She really wants to see all of them. There's some that you're just not going to get to, right? But she's really well traveled and has really inspired me to get off my butt and do some more traveling. So yeah, I'm kind of excited about that. Mostly we just do little weekend getaways and things. A lot of music festivals. Will be at Burning Man again for sure. Super involved with Burning Man. I love it. And I hope to go for the rest of my life. Maybe not every year when I'm 85 or so. Might go every other year, but it's something I'm really passionate about. Love the music, love the culture, and love the people. I've made some wonderful friends and had some great relationships within that community. So really excited about it.
Did you have any issues with what happened this year and all of the weather and all?
Yeah, we should probably confess that was a completely made up cover story just to keep other people away. Well, we stayed 3 extra days having fun.
Really?
It was a mess, and a lot of people bailed. Within our camp, about a third of the people split, and a couple of people hiked out for like 12 hours walking, carrying their stuff through the mud to try to get a ride out of there. They should have just stayed put. We had a fantastic time.
See, that's because you youngins wanted to have your own Woodstock.
It was kind of like Woodstock. You learn to cope. I bought into a giant RV. If anyone remembers Grandpa Morgan's old, I think it was called an Executive. Remember that gigantic weird old RV that he had?
Yeah.
This thing is like that. I don't know if I have a picture of it. But the RV was super comfortable and was warm because it got kind of cold for a while. But we had a great time. We just had, I think I do have a picture of the RV.
Was that the one that you had in California, Bill, at your house?
Yes. It was at my
I
house.
lived in that thing for a while.
And then Joe had it at his house for a while and he sold it for Mom.
So that, that's me and my RV buddy. It's an old bike racing team RV. Joe, if you can imagine the most hillbilly looking thing you've ever seen on wheels, that's what it is.
That's your Okie roots.
It is. I managed to get pulled over within about 2 minutes of getting inside the grounds. We got pulled over by the police, and they kept us there for a while and kind of checked us out. Because it's a bike racing rig, we pretend that and which is kind of true. I do support I'm like a bike mechanic for all the people around me. We just tell them, look, we're both over 60, we're sober, and we're bike mechanics. So nothing nefarious going on here, and they let us go.
Great.
But yeah, it was fun, and we had a great time. And my partner, she's really into it. She's been many times. She loves it. And Mia couldn't be here today. Wanted to bring you guys up to date on Mia a little bit. She's now 22, and she's doing really well. She's going to school, and she's actually working again. She hasn't worked since COVID started, since the COVID lockdown started. She was working at Starbucks. She was a manager at a Starbucks for a while. And when COVID first started, it just got really weird. Like people coming in and kind of living in the Starbucks stores for the most part, using the bathrooms and all the crazy stuff that people do in Starbucks. So she quit, but she is working now at a school with her mom 1 day a week in downtown San Francisco, and really likes it. It's a preschool for really super elite, wealthy families, I guess. And the little kids, ages 3 to 5, just love Mia, and she likes being around that energy. So she's having a great time. She lives with her really sweet boyfriend, who is rocking a beard almost like Keith has for a while. He just trimmed it. He's job hunting right now, so he figured he had to clean himself up a little bit.
I don't have any more extra work since Game of Thrones is wrapped up.
Sometimes the beard helps, right? But no, Mia's doing really well. It was nice to reconnect with her. Mia and I didn't see each other for many years throughout the divorce, and she has come back and she's doing great. She's really, really thriving. Still not quite sure what she wants to do in life, but she does say hi. She really wanted to be here, but she's at work today, so she's gonna not be able to participate. She would like to know more about the family and know more about our roots. I took a quick look at the roots work that Libby had done, and it was pretty surprising, the European heritage that led all of us Morgans to be here where we are today. I need to go back and look at it again. It's a bit of a rabbit hole. You need to spend a lot of time really studying. You can't just quickly look at it for 5 minutes. There's just too much data there, but it was really interesting. We have a lot of European heritage. It's really neat.
We have a lot of European heritage, a lot of Southern United States heritage also,
Yeah.
South Carolina, I think. And I sent a bunch of email to Scott. He was interested in, and there's a cousin of ours that did a lot of research, and she sent all that out to everybody's email that she had. I don't think she had any of the grandkids' emails, but I forwarded a lot of that on to Scott. And if you want any of that, Malcolm, I can send that to you too, and send it to Keith and Kristie. Well, I think I sent it once, maybe about a year ago, whenever they first sent it out. I probably sent it to Kristie, right? But,
Yep.
I mean, are you interested in that, Kristie?
I just haven't had time to look at it.
Okay.
But yes, I'm very interested in that because I want to teach it to my kids as well, So,
Yeah.
but I haven't had time to go through it all yet.
I'll send you just Kelly Morgan, Clarence Delmar Morgan, our dad, his tree, and maybe some of the tree above his tree. It goes all the way back to, I think, Ireland, like the 1700s.
Yeah.
Even further. I think even back to 1200. Is that right? Yeah.
What?
1200. Yeah. Ireland.
Ireland.
Yeah. It's pretty impressive. They've done a lot of work. Okay, so Scott, I guess you're next.
Well, hello to everybody. It's weird if your town is part of it is Del Rey, so is mine. I'm Del Rey Oaks, right?
Yeah.
Town I live in, and one of my online names is Del Rey Okie. So I, am thinking about Grandpa a lot, and fascinated with his accomplishments and the way he worked and the things he did. So I try and work like that and be creative and get things done, and it means a lot to me. I'm at home, for a couple weeks now, doing some work on our house. I just had 2 carpal tunnel surgeries last year. My right hand and my right elbow and my right wrist healed up from that, and then had my left hand, my left wrist and elbow done. So I'm not 100% yet, but I needed to get that done. Working in the trades all this time, I've been able to work on some nice homes, but it definitely takes its toll on the body. At the end of the day, you beat up and sore and all that kind of stuff. But with Pebble Beach and Carmel here, there's all kinds of nice work to be done, which is nice. I'm kind of thinking I would maybe like to step away from that and work in a cabinet shop or something a little more stable. And it's better for me if things are, up at a bench height, not where I have to bend over a lot and things like that. So we'll see how that turns out. So yeah, it's nice out here, and Kathy's retired and she's just taking it easy right now. My son Tom, he just lives 2 streets above us in Delray Oaks. He left his unit prosecuting prison crimes, and his new assignment is going to be felony DUIs. And unfortunately, that's a full-time job in itself. People are still drinking and driving and wrecking cars and hurting people, or, it's just sad, but that's what he's going to do this year. It's kind of sad out here, he did everything right. He worked hard. He's married. We want to be grandparents, but I don't think he'll ever be able to afford to buy a house, in our neck of the woods, so to speak, because it's just crazy out here. Fixer upper in Monterey is $1 million. So we'll see. That's why I'm still fascinated by Grandpa putting all his kids in homes before he passed away, which is just mind-boggling to me. But anyway, I proud when I work. I have here, and I don't know if anybody can see the middle picture. It's me and Grandma, and I think it's my dad dressed as Santa Claus. And I'm curious where that was taken. There's like diagonal wood in the background. Does anybody know where that was taken by any
Yeah,
chance?
I know. It was at my house.
That's what your
The
house.
living room.
In the living room. That's right.
Okay. Yeah. So I have pictures of them and I keep them close to me, so I enjoy that. So we'll see. I'm going to do a little project at my house. You have to cross a bridge to actually get to our house. You have to cross over a small creek. And I'm going to do a bridge extension where it's going to kind of cantilever out. So you'll be almost standing over the creek, which I think will be cool and have a nice view, to look down on it. So I still enjoy, working with wood and things like that, welding or whatever, I just like making things. So that's what I'm up to. And yeah, the background that the Circle Z farm people did, we all have a number. And it just goes back, and it's really impressive to read. And I can't get enough of that. So I look forward to that. And, I still would like to drive out and see Uncle Joe, and then maybe try and come down and see Keith, but we'll see. That's quite a trip. Grandpa wouldn't have thought anything of driving like that, but I'm not as good as I used to be. So we'll see. I'll keep you guys posted on that. But other than that, that's what I'm up to. So
God,
nice.
I have a question for
Okay.
Scott. How
Yeah.
old were you? How old were you when Kelly died? Grandpa died. Do you have good memories? Were you like 10?
Maybe a little bit older, but I have good memories of him. I don't know what kind of dad he was, but maybe he had a good job. He was always a fantastic grandfather, just as you guys were good uncles and aunts. So I guess I'd be about 12 or maybe a little bit older.
Did
Yeah.
you help him build the house in Monterey? Did
Yeah.
you work with him there?
Yeah, y'all
Okay.
did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He would give us jobs, and a lot of times we would end up screwing off and ending up in the meadow down below our house, and he would come down in his pickup and back of the pickup and swat each one of our butts to get in the truck and go back up and work. And that was kind of funny to me. So I have good memories of him.
Just a quick aside on that, there's still a couple places in that house where you can see where I was trying to pound in a nail and completely missed. And this beautiful piece of redwood with all these hammer marks around this nail. Right in the middle of the living room, there's one I realized I was like, oh shit.
That was a very hard house to build with simple tools, looking back on all that. And he did it with simple tools. And if it was built this day and age, there would be cranes and big forklifts and all kinds of stuff involved. And I remember his table saw, he had a circular saw like screwed upside down, and you would plug it in to use a table saw. He was creative like that. Dangerous, but he was creative. Got the job done. So yeah.
Scott, is that background behind you, is that something you just did on your house? Did
Yeah.
you just remodel that part?
I did. Yeah, we
looks great.
Had a fireplace in the corner, a wood burning stove, and Kathy is the designer and I'm the builder. We took out the fireplace and we did a stone.
Oh, very pretty.
Nice.
Wow.
And now, wood fires are nice, but you have to chop and split wood and smoke and all
The fireplace.
Now you just push a button and you have a fire, and it's a lot easier. So yeah, that was a lot of fun to do. There's quite a few projects to do around here. But yeah, no more wood fireplaces. I did do a grandpa thing a couple weeks ago. I had an old barrel, and it was a what was it? It was a storage tank for a pump system. I cut the top off, took the guts out, and now it's basically like a burn barrel. So I repurposed it to a outdoor fire pit. That's the kind of stuff I like. So yeah, there's always something to be done around here. But yeah, we're all doing pretty good.
Cool, Scott. You're done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. Keith. No. Yeah, Keith.
Oh, Kristie.
No, you're older than I am.
I'm okay. 58. Anyway.
57.
Yeah.
Hey.
I married an older woman though. She's asleep right now. She's not feeling well. Everything's going as well as can be expected here. Her dad's going through endo chemotherapy, and her brother is still But we got him on some meds. He's not talking to himself all the time now, so it's kind of nice. He could be exhausting after a while. Yeah, things are good here. The house is okay though. Everything is, and it was awful nice of Bill to take an interest a little before Christmas and kind of hooked me up with Dawn, and went up there and got Dawn a couple of fried pies from the Davis Fried Pie Place, and he said, "Well, here, I hope this, helps out." And I was able to get the hot water restored to the back part of the house, so it was a win-win. He got some fried pies and was able to help out a family member, and I sure took advantage of it. It was awesome.
So
So,
Keith,
yeah.
you're still in the house that Grandpa built, right?
Yeah. As far as that goes, he passed away literally above my head when he had a heart attack on the roof while working on the roof, and then I went and put a metal roof on it. A few years, 30 years later, and yeah. Only problem I've got with it is not enough rebar in the slab. The problem is Grandpa moved the creek, okay, and then
Not surprised.
built on where the creek had been after he moved the dirt into place. And because of droughts and stuff, over 40 years, like a hump occurred underneath the structure. You get me? Through drought and rain and everything, the earth starts moving. I studied it when I was in the ECU, but it just the earth will shift. You know what I mean? Especially when you're close to an aquifer, and that's what we've got. The water run through this area, and so it's been eating away at it, a little bit, and then rising. And pipes that run through the slab on the hot water side are broken, and so you can't. I don't even have a hot water heater in the house. I have what do you call them? 7-gallon hot water heaters located strategically, around the dwelling.
So he put copper pipes in the concrete basically, or something like that.
That's what Grandpa did. Yeah, he ran little 1/2 inch, 5/8, whatever it is, 3/8. I don't. They're not very big, and I had to use compression fittings. They come right out of the closet in the hot water heater, and somebody came along and just lopped them off. That'll actually dig the concrete out a little bit just to get a 1/2 inch for a compression fitting on each of those, and then I wound up running valves off of those so I could turn the hot water heater on. So I could run the hot water heater and use hot water in different parts of the house, and then I would shut that off because if you left the hot water running, like where it could go where it wanted to, you'd have water bubbling up through the slab in different bedrooms in the house.
Has the house settled, or
That's what I'm saying. It's settled and it's also mushroomed up. I remember reading about this when it first started happening, is why we didn't contact a shoring up. You know what I'm talking about?
yeah, it's very water goes where it wants to go, and if it changes,
just like
the
electricity,
hard to predict.
takes
But
the
it's
path of least resistance.
You need
And
to
then,
get broken concrete and dump it alongside the house. That's called riprap to kind of stabilize the hill, if you can do that. Something like
I know they have an industry here in Oklahoma devoted just to you see it advertised on TV used to. They come and dig out the edge of your property and then put something in there and raise it up. But the thing is, this slab is just really not going to take that kind of treatment.
yeah, that's a hard one.
What do you say with this though? I'm very happy with the house. I love this house. I love being able to having been able to look after grandma and mom here and having basically I listen to a lot of people cry about you know how expensive it is and that crying is perfectly reasonable because real estate prices are crazy. You know what I mean? Like Malcolm's talking about. But this place is like, $450 a year in property taxes. That's it.
You're almost like a full-time nurse there, aren't you? Taking care of people, right?
I have 4 people that I'm looking after right now, and I was just declared permanently 100% disabled not long ago.
How are you feeling?
My oxygen saturation is usually in the 70s.
Ooh.
Anybody knows? Went down to 59 the other day.
Oh,
Well, Keith, thank you very
Yeah,
much
I'm good.
for our service.
Bill, thank you. I just want to say this guy right here. He has been an angel to us
Yeah.
here. Like, Bill, you're all that in a bag of chips, buddy. Thank you very much for the help you've given us here in this.
And thank you, Keith, for your service to our family, to
Our
our
family
mom
is
and
right.
your mom, and now Kat's dad and brother.
Yeah, our family is right. It's nice to have, just when I felt as alone and cut off from anybody who might give a damn, you came popping up, man, just like pow, and really improved my morale and my state of mind to know that somebody out there gives it up, So I love you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
When
I love you too.
does it get hot out there? When does it start getting hot? May?
Yeah. Yeah. Late May, really warm. Yeah.
Okay, Keith, that it for you?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Kristie.
Well, I had the pleasure of going over to Martha's Vineyard to meet Dad and Carol this summer with my husband Mark and our youngest son Troy. And we live on Cape Cod, and it's a a great place, great place. And his family, my husband's family, has been here for almost 300 years. They're Portuguese and great people, great food, and locals. Everybody knows everybody here. It's a very small town, and I'm very big city, so I kind of don't fit in too well here, but I love it. I have a lot of great friends. I have uh, I have a business, actually, a cleaning business that I do. I take care of the summer homes. I go in and take care of rentals and things like this. And so I've been very busy. I just got back from work, actually. I'm a little exhausted. I've been up since 5 o'clock. Troy plays hockey, and we have 6:30 in the morning.
Tell us
3 days a week.
what your kids are doing, Kristie.
What's that?
Tell us about what your kids are doing.
Well, Troy's playing hockey. That's what I was saying. Troy's playing hockey, and for high school, he's a freshman. He's 15. He just turned 15. And Hannah is 19. She's a leap year baby. So she was born on February 29th. And this coming year is her 5th birthday. And Zion is just turned 21 in this summer. And so we had a big drinking party for him. He had a great time. He got drunk on 2 beers. And it was wicked cute. He doesn't drink, but that night he did. It was really cute. And he's not doing much. He's a gamer. He works during the summer at the theater. He saves up his money. He pays his rent here, and he just hangs out in his room. He's not very motivated. But Hannah, she lives at home still, and she's doing good. We've had a really rough time with our daughter. She thinks she's a boy. She is like trans or whatever. And so it's been kind of hard to deal with because I don't have 3 boys like my cousins. I have 2 boys and a girl, but whatever. And so we're going through that kind of stuff right now. But she's going to have her 5th birthday, and we're going to throw her a big party and see what happens. And my husband, he's in construction. He also, from time to time, goes into commercial fishing when there's not much work around here for construction during the winter. And he works so hard, you know, for our family. He's been doing really great for us, and he's a good guy. And I don't know, not doing too much really, other than work, taking care of kids, hockey practice, that kind of stuff.
Okay, great. Mark is a
Sounds
great,
awesome, Kristie. That sounds awesome.
Oh, thank you, Keith.
I just have to make one comment about, Kristie was kind enough to send us I think 3 dozen oysters,
Oh,
whatever
yes.
it was.
yes.
Yes, to two people who have never shucked an oyster in their lives.
Love that.
And
Yes, I
luckily,
have.
we have all of our fingers. Nobody got hurt. Thank
Yeah.
you for sending the gloves
Thanks for
and
sending the
the knife,
gloves and
because
the
we would
knife.
never have gotten them open otherwise.
The
Right.
gloves and the oyster knife. You can't do it without the
You
oyster
can't do
knife.
it without it. Yeah, I didn't realize that, but they were fabulous,
I'm glad
fabulous,
you liked them.
fabulous. We did finish them in 2 nights because we figured we had to eat them when they were nice and fresh.
Yeah.
They were just something I had never expected to be that good. I mean, I've had oysters. We had them this summer, you know, when we were at Martha's Vineyard.
Not the
Didn't even
same.
come close
Yeah.
to what those were. They were
So you have to come
fabulous.
back to Wellfleet because they're Wellfleet oysters. They were very special here. They're-
We ordered them at a restaurant here because they were Wellfleet oysters. They were
Oh,
not
yeah.
that good. This was before we had them from you, but they were not that good. These were just so superior. Thank you so much for sending them.
Oh, you're welcome, definitely. But Wellfleet oysters can be farmed, and a lot of guys farm them here. And we also have an oyster fest during the summer. Well, I guess it's in October, so it's the fall. And tens of thousands of people show up to do the oyster fest, and so it's a lot of fun. Big, huge 3-day oyster shucking contest and things like
I'm
that.
not getting involved in that because I'm lucky I got through the ones I got through.
In fact, we have
But-
the world's best or fastest shucker in the world here. And so, you know, it's a huge thing for Wellfleet.
I bet.
So if
I
you guys
bet.
like oysters, come to Wellfleet and come
Yep.
hang out with us.
For sure.
And
You
Mark,
guys
is
like,
a great
especially
shucker.
Malcolm, you would love Cape Cod. I don't know if you've ever been here, but yeah.
Can I jump in for a second?
Sure.
I had an opportunity to do some work in the winter of 2005, I think it was. And I went to a little town in Maine called Skowhegan, Maine. And I had a welder in the back of my truck, so I was able to drive through that blizzard. I believe that when it was. And that was some of the best food that I've ever had in my life. Fish chowder, and these little restaurants that are just like, you wouldn't even think, you know, there was anything, you know, going on there. You go inside and man, the food is just fantastic. And when the job wrapped up, I got to go to somewhere in New Hampshire, Seaport or something. And then I drove the coast road down to Newport News, Virginia, and basically just saw the bridges and stuff. But yeah, that's an awesome part of the country, Kristie. I am jealous of your, you know what I mean, being there.
It's a beautiful part of the country for sure. But you know, California girl, you can take the girl out of California, but you can't, yeah,
There
you
you
know,
go.
take the California out of the girl.
Kristie, I have a question. What does your husband fish for in the winter? What kind of fishing is it? Because that's gnarly duty, right? I mean, that's hardcore.
Scallops. He
Okay.
goes on to scallop boats, and it's pretty hardcore, definitely. You know, they've had a lot of problems on different boats that he's been on or whatnot, but they make the money. So, you know, you can go out for a 2-day trip and come back with $10,000. So
Wow.
it's worth it almost.
And
That's
$20 bags at Walmart of those things. Yeah.
Yeah,
Scallops.
that's
Love them.
hard.
Wow.
Yeah, I'd
Bacon
love
wrap
to see it.
scallops.
I've never been to the Northeast at all. It's always been this like ethereal place, like, ooh. But
You
someday,
would
yeah.
love it. No, you would love Cape Cod. I wish you would come. I would show you around all the different ports and all the great boats that are here. Oh my gosh, the
Yeah.
history is amazing.
I think the best built boats, probably in the entire country, in North America, almost all come out of Maine, right? We have Hinckley,
I mean, yeah, they have
Sabre,
huge ports.
forget who else is up there. There's another one I think called the Hodgson Bay Boatworks or something like that builds these incredible big, you're still building wood boats, these big yachts. They're
Oh, wow.
amazing. Yeah, I'd love to see that. Someday. I just quit the company. We had an office in the Hamptons, but that's the place I just quit. So we got to
Oh.
find a new office that has bi-coastal, offices, and then maybe I can get back out there.
Very cool. Yeah, that's a good idea. Do it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Is Kevin with us?
No, he's at work.
Oh.
He couldn't make it.
Yeah,
that's
Kevin's a bureaucrat for the city of Monterey now. He gives Scott a hard time because Kevin's a building inspector, so he gets to
Oh.
inspect stuff that. Has he ever turned down one of your projects, Scott, and like said, no, you got to go back and redo this?
Not yet. I mean, he didn't like the way my tankless water heater outside, but I'm okay with it. So I don't do the permit thing usually, unless
A grandpa thing.
Hey, how tall is Mikey? 6'2", 6'3"?
I think 6'2".
I still got the record. 6'3", but I'm
Oh.
shrinking.
My son's gonna beat you. He's
Is it?
15. He's 15 and 6'1", and he's
Wow.
definitely not done growing. And on his
Yeah.
hockey skates, he's like 3 inches more, so he's 6'4", so he's huge.
Nice.
Well, our grandbaby's going to be all of you, I think. He's a gigantic. He's a handful.
He's adorable.
he is nonstop
Yep.
until he runs out of energy and then he's gone. He's out. Refueling.
Can't wait to be a grandparent. Sounds like a lot of fun.
Hmm.
Yeah, Nancy, I bet you're happy about having another grandbaby boy.
Right. Yeah. And not much help though. That's unfortunate for them. And the grandmother that was helpful now has broken ribs and a concussion. So
Oh, my.
the upsitter is not even available. So they're in trouble.
Just
You guys
hide all the
can't-
knives and the flammable liquids. You'll be fine.
Oh, okay.
You guys can't babysit anymore?
We babysit Summer, but Jackson's too much.
It's too much, yeah.
Uh,
He's
no.
nonstop.
Yep.
So when can we do our next meeting? Next year or Christmas or?
That's
what
up
do you-
to Malcolm. He's gonna be the main man.
Well,
Okay.
I'll be the IT guy, but we can have a meeting whenever people want. I'd love to do this more often. We could do a summer
31st.
one and a holiday one.
May 31st, grandma's birthday.
June 31st?
Hey,
May 31st. Yeah, she was born on the last day of May. That's why her name was Jessie May. If
Oh,
she was
I didn't know that.
born a day later, she would have been Jessie June.
Jesse June. That's kind of cute, actually.
It is. Is it Jessie May, M-A-Y? I thought it was M-A-E.
M-A-E.
I'll be right back. Let me get something to show you.
That's pretty funny. And my girlfriend's super interested in our Irish heritage. And I actually found the one surviving picture of Grandma that I still have. And I actually have it on the boat here with me.
I got something for you guys. Tell me if that's close enough to see.
No,
gotta
it's
lift it
too
up.
low.
Higher,
Higher.
higher,
Higher.
keep going.
And you
Keep
say
going.
something, Keith.
Nice.
Grandma,
That's pretty cool.
little Bedouin guy.
Now, tilt it down a little now.
Yeah, towards the camera a little. Yeah, that's
There we
better.
go.
That's it.
And say
Keith,
something.
say something.
Hey, yeah. You can see this a little better now. Everything's better
She's
now.
on a horse.
Yep, that's grandma on a little critter far away from home.
Wow.
Cool. You like that?
Wow.
Scotty, you come out here and visit me? I'll give it to you.
Know how to
Do it,
make,
Scott.
who knows how to make grandma's oatmeal?
I do.
I do.
Keith does.
Yeah, me too. I just had it this morning,
Yeah.
but now it's got almond milk and hemp hearts,
Yes.
a healthier version. But I want to share a quick story about the Morgan Family Bible that I've been entrusted with. Yeah, not a Bible toting guy. What is that, Keith?
That's everybody.
Okay.
That's
Nice.
grandpa, and your brothers. I mean, your dad and his brothers, sister.
Oh, what a
Oh,
great
that's a nice picture, babe. I don't think I've ever seen that.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen it, but that's Kelly, Barbara, and Joe. I
Wow.
wasn't born, I don't think, or not in the picture anyway.
Yeah, and there's William Burroughs in the back. I mean, just kidding.
Is there a
that's
date on it, Keith?
Grandma's house.
Keith, is there a date?
Oh, I'd have to tear it apart to find it.
No,
No.
don't, obviously. Don't do that.
It would have to be right around
56,
1946 or
54.
47.
So
So
what's the secret to grandma's oatmeal? Because we don't have it down, I don't think.
I think it's milk, actually, or sweet, something sweet like that.
Oh, yeah.
I'd
A
have to wrap
cup,
this up.
cup of water and a half a cup of oats and a quarter stick of butter.
Oh, really?
That's it.
And
I think that's the key.
that's the key. And about a half a cup of sugar and then cream. Whenever it gets close to, put a little milk or cream in it.
Okay,
You gotta have all of those three key ingredients: butter,
okay.
sugar, and
We've already decided he's making it on Sunday morning.
Nice.
And it's got to be Quaker old-fashioned oats. None of that 1 minute crap. It's got to be
Yes.
the old-fashioned
That's
slow
right.
cooking
That's
stuff.
exactly right.
I have a theory on Morgan guys a little bit. So grandpa was a builder contractor guy. His son Kelly didn't want to do that. So he went to school and got a college degree and worked in an office. His son, me, turned out to be a builder contractor guy. My son didn't want to do what I did. So he went to school, got a college degree. So if my son has a son, I hope he's going to be a builder contractor guy. Does that make sense?
Yeah, you have to make them, Scott.
Yeah.
You, you create them.
Every other generation, one goes to school, one works with his hands. I don't know.
And then I'll take them to Burning Man and we'll build the temple and all that crazy art that they burned. Perfect.
Not the bees! Not the bees!
Huh.
Well,
That's
let's tell some
Sorry,
stories
Quaker man.
about Grandpa. And I'll start us off.
Okay.
We owned a gas station when I was about 15. My dad owned it for 6 months. 6 months, he lost $600. I think probably most of that money Bill Williams stole.
Wow.
I'm sorry, not Bill Williams. Jim or first husband.
James Webb.
James Webb. Yeah, he dipped into the till. James Webb.
Mom swears up and down that guy wasn't my dad, but I think maybe she was.
James Webb was your father.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want that to be common knowledge, but
That doesn't bother me a bit. I mean,
maybe other people have some knowledge about it. But I mean, I was right there, and I know
I just wish
I know
Mom
what
kept
I
his-
know.
from keeping his photograph.
Barbara did not, Keith Webb, but Jim Webb was a bad guy. He was, he drank and he had a gambling problem. And that's not the story I wanted to tell. About Grandpa, going back to Grandpa, he was a very nice guy, but he wasn't a businessman. Us Morgans are not business people generally. He had that gas station and he worked, for about $1 an hour for himself. He would solve people's problems, but if you messed him over, he would be your worst enemy. And we had this guy who came in and he pumped about $5 worth of gas into his car and then said he didn't have any money. So my dad took a hose, stuck it into his gas tank, and got a gas can and sucked the gas out into the tank. And he did that successfully, except that he got a mouthful of gas too. And, he smoked.
Uh-oh.
And he could not quit smoking. He couldn't, he tried. And so that gasoline made him sick and he could not smoke for the rest of the day. He went home, he was sick and didn't see him for the rest of the day. And he wanted to light up a cigarette so bad, but if he would have, he would have gone up and smoked. So that's my Morgan story. But the positive part about him, he was very talented. He could do literally anything with his hands. He built furniture whenever I was young. We would build it together. I would be his helper. And he had all kinds of saws for a while. He couldn't maintain his focus on the task that he was doing. He always had 3 or 4 tasks going at a time, and he would lose interest in his woodworking, and then he'd go to upholstery, and he would go to other things, and he could do it all. And he designed this very modernistic table just on his own, just out of the blue. I was so amazed at this beautiful, incredible kind of an end table that he built was, but shortly after that, he lost interest in woodworking. He sold most of the big saws that he had and got into upholstery work. And he took an upholstery class. He went to school and he knew more than the teacher. And the teacher would call him up every week, the night of the class. It was a adult education class at night. The teacher would call him up and make sure that he was going to come to school that night because he knew more about upholstery than anybody else in class. He could have been the teacher easily. And he learned it from his mom. His mom was a fantastic sewer, and so was Kelly. He could sew anything, and he did a little bit of everything, including a lot of furniture. Okay, that's my stories about Dad. Like that, Scott?
I remember when we were building my mom's house, he had a big, gigantic electric drill. And we had to all these holes in the poles or beams or something.
You're over the
It's
speaker.
got your microphones covered up or something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
just,
I can't, me and Malcolm and Kevin still quote the line that he said, something like, hold on to this drill tight or it will get to flopping you round and round. Because it's so powerful, if it caught, it would just fling you. Isn't that something like that, Malcolm?
Yeah, these giant steel plates that hold up the telephone poles. The house that we built, that my mom still lives in, sits up on telephone poles, and these were these big steel plates that would get cast into the concrete, and they stuck up, and then bolts went through these plates to bolt onto the telephone poles. And normally that would all be done at a machine shop or a blacksmith shop or something, but Grandpa just got the steel, and I think he had some sort of a cutoff saw, and then on a tree stump where we cut down a tree, he'd plop down this giant, is like 3-inch wide by probably 1/4 inch or 3/8 thick steel, and this giant shitty old drill bit. And okay, hold on, boy. I'm like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to do it. And he just squeezed it. It was this giant old drill that had a piece of pipe threaded in both sides. I think it was either a Craftsman or a Montgomery Ward drill. This little scary thing. You could look inside and see sparks flying.
Yeah.
And that was his. And it took a while. If it did grab, this thing was gear driven, so it didn't just stop. It would like, and that's enough to take your arm off 3 times if this thing grabs. Classic Grandpa.
yeah,
I
we
still-
used that drill to build my house too.
Yeah, it was a big
Yeah.
kind of cast aluminum thing, right?
Yep, I think it was probably like a GE or a Westinghouse drill. Yeah, it was huge, and it had a lot of torque to it, and it had seen a lot of work done by the time I got it. By the time we used it to build my house, and it locked up on us, and we could not get the drill in or out. It just froze up. And my dad took the drill and just threw it, you know, as hard as he could on the ground. And believe it or not, that unfroze it. We used that drill a lot more.
You guys from having a coin collection or silver dollars or something? My dad, Kelly, told me a story. He had a collection of silver dollars, and he really liked it. But somehow when he came to Monterey, somebody stole it. And that was that right, Dad?
Yep. And unfortunately, that's a true story.
Well, tell us one of your stories, Kelly.
Well, I remember a number of things about our father, and he would be the nicest guy. He'd get impatient and he'd be a real bastard.
Yep.
That's the way he was. And when I was growing up, I spent time with my grandparents, his parents, and they would tell me stories about all I don't know how many boys there were, 5, I think, 5 Morgan sons, and I would think once in a while, God, it must be a handful to have all those boys around, those rowdy boys. But our grandparents dealt with it really well. They were good parents and good great grandparents. So that was.
I remember getting to meet them once.
I seem to remember some story of young Grandpa and a bunch of his friends, didn't they joyride a car or they set a car on fire or something? Borrowed somebody's car and totaled it. There was some sort of scandal involving a car. I seem to remember.
Yeah, I know. I
The
don't know
only-
that story.
Only one I can remember is that someone saying that guy with high beams on it followed Grandpa down a dusty road, wouldn't get off of his ass. Grandpa pulled over at a bottleneck, went back there and busted all his headlights out. Got back in the car and drove off. Anything like that ring a bell?
That could be it, but there's something like where the cops were involved, but they didn't really get in too much trouble, but like everybody knew.
So how many trucks did he roll? That's something I remember of Grandpa. I remember a red truck that he rolled off the side of the freeway or something.
Yeah, that's right.
I remember getting in it one time and I don't know. I think he just was happy to have grandsons, and I don't know if he was so happy to have a granddaughter or not, but I don't think I was as useful as the boys, but I don't remember him smoking. I remember him chewing tobacco, and I remember him making me chew tobacco
Oh no.
Really?
twice. And I thought I was gonna throw up. It was so disgusting. I don't know how anybody could do that. I think he got mad at me at that point, so I don't remember much more after that. But I was pretty young when he passed away. I don't have so many memories. I remember working at my dad's house when they were building it. But it was mostly me and dad building it, as far as, I mean, because I was with dad on the weekends, and that's when he was home working on the house. I remember tiling the bathtub in the downstairs bedroom, bathroom. I remember so many different projects with that house. The Hacienda Heights or La Habra Heights, was it, Dad?
Harbor Heights, yeah.
La Habra Heights, yeah. But I remember it more me and you than Grandpa and us.
Well, he was probably in Oklahoma at the
Right.
time you were coming over for the most part.
Yeah. That was fun. I enjoyed doing that with you, little projects. I don't know. I think I messed up the tile in the bathtub, but you fixed it, so it was fine.
I don't remember that.
Well, I remember it was tiny, tiny little blue tiles, and it was just a sunken bathtub, straight rectangle side, like
Yeah, that,
very deep. I remember taking baths in it afterwards. It was great, but
yeah, Dad built that tub for himself. So
no doubt.
it would take a bathtub. But it wasn't a very practical bathtub.
No, it took a lot of water.
And by the time you got it filled, it was cold.
Yes, because the tank wasn't big enough.
That's right.
But yeah,
Remember, you guys had three mean animals at that house. You had a super mean ass white rooster that Keith used to trick us into go feed the chickens.
Oh yeah.
And lock the gate. And then you had a super mean goose or two geese.
Three geese.
That same thing. Hey, you guys want to feed the geese?
About
Oh, good.
4 or 5 geese.
What?
Yeah, there was about 4 or 5 geese, and yeah, they would go after you.
Oh, their beak was like face height.
Not
You were a
quite.
little
Well,
guy.
for a young kid, yeah.
Yeah. And then you had, I think, a big and a small German Shepherd. I still have a scar in my butt from the small one. Bit
Really?
me on the butt.
It was a collie. It wasn't a German Shepherd. That was Henrietta.
Oh, that was
Henrietta.
Diane's German Shepherds. That was
Oh,
my
yeah.
roommates. And
Hmm.
they would bite people.
Yeah.
Yeah, still have a scar.
Oh no.
I don't remember that either.
I
Yeah,
remember
through the
that.
jeans. I was carrying a big armload of Christmas presents. After that 8-hour drive, they wake us up. We're okay. We're like staggering in the house. I never even saw the dog till it bit my ass. Balloons went flying.
That's fun.
That
That was
story
funny.
or not, I don't know, but when he was building the house in Monterey, he had a trailer parked on the
Yes.
lot. And she was inside the trailer doing dishes or something, and he says Grandpa got pissed off, hooked up to the trailer and started driving up the street. He was leaving and she was in the trailer still.
Yep. She started screaming.
Yeah. He got pissed off at me.
As he usually did.
Yeah.
So I
remember
still
the
have a little
cat.
tribute to Grandpa once in a while. Like one of the things I learned in COVID is have multiple ways to make a living. So from time to time, I do lectures about electrical safety. It's usually around around water and boats and marinas. And I talk about getting nearly electrocuted on Grandpa's trailer and how important it is to have everything grounded properly. And at the end, there's a picture, a black and white picture of a little boy sticking a knife into an electrical socket. That I think this is either me or my grandpa. But we talk about Grandpa Morgan and how he cut the third prong off of every extension cord and power tool
Yeah.
he had. And because to him, it's, oh, that's just ground. Well, now we know so much more, but I'm an expert now on ground and shock hazards and grounding and what the ground prong is for. It's there for a reason. But to Grandpa, it was just something in the way because sometimes it didn't fit in the outlet.
The two
And
prong.
to him, just get rid of it. I watched him do it. He took a brand new, it was like the Montgomery Ward version of a Sawzall, and unwraps the plastic, reaches in and grabs his wire cutters, and he goes, chop, and cuts off the ground prong on the power cord. Okay. But yeah, it's his legacy still lives on. Not sure it's a legacy he wants, but it's there.
He was a character, that's for sure.
Very much so.
So Joe, you got any Kelly Clarence Delma stories?
Yes, I do. And hearing all the stories that all of you have to talk about, Grandpa was a Renaissance man, no doubt. He could build a house from the ground up. And in most cases, he understood everything that he was doing. But at least in our house, after he did the electrical, you'd have to go in the living room to turn the light on in the bedroom. And Nancy would say, well, the kitchen sink, shouldn't the hot water be coming out of the left side as opposed to the right side? But he would kind of rationalize that and say, it's working. And the nice thing about his personality was he loved to go to garage sales and to auctions
And swap meets.
Yes.
and swap meets.
Flea market.
And the reason it was a release, it was just something he really enjoyed, and he would come home with something every time. And it was really put to good use when he bought an apartment building that I'm sure many of you remember, had somewhere between 14 and 17 units. And he furnished most of the units with everything from beds to sofas to table, chairs, and everything for the apartments because he could give more rent if it was furnished. And he furnished the entire apartment building by going to auctions and really enjoying the bidding wars. And I think it was a testament to his personality. Sure, he was eccentric, but he was also a very talented individual that it's rare to find these guys in today's world. We're so highly specialized. And just take my hat off to Grandpa Kelly. He was a man for all seasons.
Well, you're kind of right, because there's no contractor today that does like the foundation digging and builds the forms and pours the concrete and does the framing and builds the whole structure and does the plumbing and does the electrical and then nails down a roll of flea market carpet and does the whole damn job.
I mean, somebody
that-
would come in and actually do the dirt work all the way up to putting the turbines on top of the house.
yeah, I mean, he literally did every single thing. And today that would be a team of 20 separate different contractors.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And people doing estimates all along the way, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Professionals coming in to, oh, this is why we're going to do this or that. I mean, you'd have to have a permit to move a freaking creek nowadays, I think. You'd have to have some kind of environmental impact statement. Yeah, I mean,
Permits.
he was put through court over this. He was taken to court over this. Is supposed to be one of the things that made him sick and caused him so much trouble and angst or whatever at the end of it. You know, he couldn't just do
Permits, you would say humbug to permits.
Right.
You shouldn't have to ask the government, the local government, to do work on your own property, I think is
the creek fed into other people's property, and I guess he temporarily altered the amount of flow. It all went back to normal. You know, he moved basically the creek about 30 yards. So just create another bend in it. Basically.
At my mom's house, I think she still has a blue toilet, bathtub, and our old bathroom. Probably brought up from a flea market or swap meet. Something in that house is something that he brought up, you know. Funky colors, very 70s.
On the roof of the car.
I'll tell you one thing, that grandma was a very good businesswoman.
She was.
She was. She knew what she was doing and left this house in better shape than she found it. Of course, you know, it was a process, building in process, whatever you call it. It was a work in progress, you know, when she took it over. Her husband had, you know, he was gone. So, you know, she had to take care of everything, and she did a great job too. And I mean, she really got her daughter in a house on down the street, got her sister in a house, even, you know, a block and a half away, and, you know, brought her family where she wanted them to be. I mean, she was one hell of a lady. I love my grandmother very much.
I don't know if you guys know, but I don't know, a long time ago, I tried to stay close with grandma, but at the time I needed $1,000 to go to contractor school, and I didn't have it. And I called her, and she sent me the check for $1,000, and I went to contractor school because of her. $1,000.
Oh, bless you.
That's a great story, Scott. I didn't know that.
A lot.
That was a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nothing now really for school, for contractor school, but back then I'm sure it was. That's awesome.
I'll never forget.
Kristie, are you there?
I'm here.
Kristie, it's really good to see you. And
Great to see you.
Good to hear of your family news.
Thank you. It's great talking with all you guys too. I really do miss the Morgan family. You know, I wish my kids grew up like I grew up, where we all spent Christmas together. That was such a great time, you know. And I always had to share my time between my mom's family and my dad's family, but the time that I had there was really special, really great. I love you guys.
Do you
Kristie, this is
remember?
Kelly J.
We had the skinniest Santa Claus.
Yes, we did. We did have a skinny Santa Claus.
I don't know if you guys remember, sometimes those Christmases would get a little out of hand. I remember one year
Maybe
Oh yeah.
we got
Grandpa
4
Kelly, I
BB
don't know.
guns, and you know, bad planning on the grown-ups' parts. I'm not sure where the BB guns came from, if that was a grandpa thing or from our parents, but Malcolm, Scott, Kevin each got one, and Keith got one.
Yeah.
I bet it wasn't 10 minutes after they came out of the wrapping paper that the police were called, because we're outside shooting streetlights. And I know some of us shot out some Christmas bulbs on the neighbor's house. Back then, they had those big C9 bulbs. They were an easy target for little boys with BB guns. But then there was another time where I remember we would go down to visit the Southern California Morgans. Seemed like Easter, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and I forget what else, maybe New Year's, but
And
there was
weddings.
and
The
for the
weddings.
weddings, yeah. And there was a persimmon tree in the backyard of the Whittier house. And we would all grab these armloads of persimmons and run up the street, because it was a dead end street, whatever that, La Habra Avenue, I think.
Yeah, Via del Palma. Yeah.
Via de
Yes.
Palma. And we would throw the persimmons against the side of this big apartment building and then run
Yes.
away. Well, they must have figured out our schedule, because we did it the last time. I suppose we probably did it at Thanksgiving, and then we came back at Christmas, because those persimmons were still in the air when the police came around and nabbed us. And the guy who, I don't know if it was the manager or someone who lived there, or the owner of that building, because they were on the other side of the fence, so they couldn't really get to us. But the guy came out screaming, and the cops came roaring up the hill, and that was the end of our persimmon bombings.
All right. Remember, we took those BB guns out to the desert.
Yeah, that was interesting. That's where I learned to shoot. I've got to run soon, because I've got to meet a client in 20 minutes across town. But I'd like to do this again, maybe May or Grandma's birthday.
Whenever you want, Malcolm. It's your it's your bailiwick now.
I will try to be organized. My first large-scale Zoom hosting.
No problem.
I think we cut Kelly Jack off there just a moment ago.
Dad, did you want to add anything? You guys can keep going, but I've got to run. I've got to hike up to the car and drive across town.
Okay, Malcolm. Great to see you. Glad you asked for this. And
Yeah, this is great.
Love you, man.
I really enjoy being in touch with the Morgans, and there is a lot of family heritage there. And we're just scratching the surface now. There's a lot of history there. I just took a quick glance. It's like your eyes kind of roll back in your head and realize how far this, our ancestors have traveled.
Yes.
And the varying backgrounds. One of the things I live by now is try to be the person your ancestors hoped you would be. I'm pretty sure I'm freaking out a lot of my ancestors with my current lifestyle. But I really like that. I really enjoy the fact that we have this very wide-ranging ancestry, and very diverse. I mean, look, we're in all corners of the country now, right? From Maine to Florida to Colorado to North and South California. That's fantastic. And I feel very honored to be related to all of you. Thank you.
Malcolm, this is Kelly J. We only focus on the Morgan side, but our mother's side Webb, I'd be very interested in knowing about them because they weren't poor dirt farmers like we were. They were actually pretty well off. They had thousands of acres of land there in the Ardmore, Marietta area.
Well, let's go claim it.
Well, it was all sold, and our dad had a hand in selling a bunch of that. He sold it and didn't get a good price. It was, land was practically dirt cheap giveaway. But anyway, our grandfather Webb had, I think, thousands of acres there, and I'd like to know more about their side of the family. And that's my comment.
Okay. I've got to sign off, everyone. Love you guys.
So long, Michael. Good to see you
Try to
again.
do it again.
Here, Malcolm.
Bye,
So long.
Malcolm. Love you.
Bye.
Yeah.
How many of you have had a DNA check?
No.
Just Kelly.
They did mine and came back as Welsh. A lot of Welsh. Like 90-something%.
I'd probably, we are primarily Welsh.
And Olivia was like a Gaelic or darker skinned Welsh, right?
Yeah.
I had a buddy of mine who was from England, and his mom was Welsh, and she was like a glass of milk. And she was just as white a Caucasian as can be. That's what I'm saying. And I'm not trying to say anything or me. I'm just saying, there are different people within the Welsh community of all, gingers and, people with blue eyes, people with green eyes, people with black hair, people with.
Yeah, that's right.
I have a redheaded son. Just like
There you
you.
go.
Yep. He's very red still. And very pale, like very, very very redheaded white skin, Doesn't tan.
Yeah.
Troy just got home from school. He's here. Come say hi.
Let him stick his head in.
There he is.
Hey,
Come sit
Troy.
down.
Hey,
Oh,
Troy.
that's it. How's it going?
Hey, Troy, how you doing?
This is
Pretty good.
Carol.
Yeah, I do it.
Good to see you.
Dad,
see you
say
too.
something.
Hi, Troy.
Hi, Papa Bill. How's it going?
Okay, good. How's school?
Doing pretty good.
How's
Been up since
hockey?
5.
Are you playing hockey now?
Yeah, it hurts.
Good to see you. I don't think we've ever seen each other.
I'm getting a drink. So.
Oh, okay.
I guess that would be your second cousin.
Really?
You know what? You're a little too close to the camera.
Me?
And you got to lift the computer up or the camera up a little because we're seeing. There you go.
There we can see.
Now we can see his face. Now Troy can see what you look like.
Thank you.
With the hat.
He's very handsome.
Oh. That's my wife.
Hi, Cat.
Hi, Cat.
How are you? How are you doing?
Okay,
Good.
Malcolm took off.
nice to see you.
Oh,
check on
nice
your
to
dad.
see you
And your
too.
father's stomach's really bothering.
Nice
I
to
think
see
we
you.
lost Troy. I don't have him on my screen anymore.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Well, folks, I think I've got to go do a few things around the house.
Okay,
Little,
I guess we'll wrap it up.
wonderful.
Yeah, I think we have to wrap it up, babe. We have to do stuff too because we're going out in a little while.
I hope we do this in about 6 months.
Well, let's bug Malcolm.
Malcolm about it.
All right, I will. You guys take care. God bless.
Okay, Keith, good to see you again. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year,
Bye.
everybody. Love you.
Bye.
Miss you guys.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
guys. Happy New Year, Nancy.
Bye
Be
bye.
well.
Whoops. I think they're gone. So maybe you can say something.
No, I'm good.
Okay.